Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. So hello and welcome all. At 7:58 p.m., I will now call this meeting to order. If you are a visitor, please state your name and your reason for being here.
I'm a visitor. My name's Amelia, and I am Eric's friend.
David Hickey, photographer for the Purdue Exponent.
Katie Collins, reporter for the
Perfect. Thank you all for being here. So we will now move into proxy reports. If you are a proxy, please state your name and the senator you are proxying for at this time.
Corinne Davis, proxy for Senator Ferguson.
Lucy Waterman, proxy for Anna Hampton.
Perfect. Thank you all. So hearing no more proxies, we will now move into roll call by Secretary Friend.
Senator Carnes.
Here.
Senator Terrell.
Absent.
Senator Scudder.
Here.
Senator Cashon.
Here.
Senator Brown.
Here.
Senator Kirkendall.
Absent.
Senator Alkazemi.
Here.
Senator Diaz.
Here.
Senator Wheeler.
Here.
Senator Dodona.
Here.
Senator Bottini.
Here.
Senator Conrad.
Here.
Senator Alexander.
Absent.
Senator DeLucia Green.
Here.
Senator Famua.
Here.
Senator Sexton.
Not in the roll.
Senator Ackerman.
Here.
Senator Toshik.
Here.
Senator Hansa.
Here.
Senator Bowman.
Absent.
Senator de Guzman.
Here.
Senator Kirsch.
Absent.
Senator Adam.
Absent.
Senator Johnson.
Present.
Senator Feuerstein.
Absent.
Senator De Silva.
Here.
Senator Liu.
Here.
Senator Woodruff.
Here.
Senator Toriani.
Absent.
Senator Rigney.
Absent.
Senator Robinson.
Here.
Senator LaRoche.
Here.
Senator Jane.
Here.
All right, we will now move into our land acknowledgement. Purdue student government acknowledges the traditional homelands of the indigenous people, which Purdue University is built upon. We honor and appreciate the Potawatomi, Delaware, Miami, and Shawnee people who are the original indigenous caretakers. Now, senators, please rise for your pledge of purpose. Our purpose is to be Very nice, everybody. So the meetings for the last minute were distributed to all via SharePoint. Are there any corrections to the minutes at this time? Seeing none, the minutes are approved as distributed. We will now move into executive reports. President Jensen, do you have any executive reports at this time?
I do, but I'll keep it brief because we're here at 8. So I'll just go over lift numbers. So over the weekend, this past weekend, we had 900 rides. And just to put that into perspective for everyone, we had 300 rides a day, but then every single week in January we had 300 rides. And so every single day we had as much as we had in a week in January. Not sure why that is. Hopefully those numbers keep going up, and so we run out of money soon, but hopefully people are able to utilize that. Patrick kind of stole my thunder on one of those, but looking at Purdue mental health initiatives and talking about telehealth, IU also just implemented their telehealth, and so we'll be utilizing data from IU and seeing how their students like it to see if we want to implement that as well. And then elections are coming up, so get your people to vote.
Perfect. So I hope you all enjoyed our surprise extra special programming tonight. I'm really happy you guys were able to hear from President Chang and Provost Wolf because I know that last time it didn't quite work out, and I know a lot of you were really excited to hear from them, including me. So I'm really happy that happened tonight, but we were supposed to hear from the Latino Cultural Center tonight. but Karina couldn't stay, so I'm going to try to see if we can reschedule her next time, but we'll just have to see how that goes. But she really understands, and I think she was also glad to have an opportunity to meet both individuals. In other news, though, A-Dash was really fun and a great experience, so thank you to all who came, and I hope you were able to take away something from that experience. Yeah, especially the ride back was very eventful, but it was really fun. So thank you all for coming. And then also make sure that you are continuing to work on your transition documents. As a reminder, they're due April 12th. So at this time, are there any other executive reports? Pro Tem Dodona?
Yeah, just a brief reminder of what I went over in caucus. Again, transition documents due April 12th. If they're not in, you get to do a fun little speech in which we grill you with questions. Just do the report, please. It'd be great. And then for getting your Senate duties done, the general premise is to have them done before the last Senate session. If that's not feasible for you, talk to Izzy, Lily, or I, and we can have a conversation about letting it go to the end of the month. But please get those done. They're really important to your positions and your jobs.
Yes.
We had our first pit crew meeting, so that went well, and thank you for everyone who participated. And the VO scooters and bikes have been launched, so thanks to our EMPB team at Purdue for that.
Are there any other executive reports? All right. Seeing none, we can now move into committee reports, starting with internal affairs.
Not much of an update other than our standing rules are on the floor today, with every update from the bylaws and constitution that we've been working on for a while.
Financial affairs.
Yeah, so we're wrapping up, with the small grants, and that's been really great. But we don't really have any big reports.
Nice. Campus and student resource affairs. Does anyone have the updates? Yes.
There's 2 pieces of legislation coming out tonight from our committee, and then there's one that still has to come out for Senate session. Otherwise,
Perfect. University academic affairs.
So we're figuring out, sorry for my voice, by the way, tabling for passing out evaluations by the end of the month, and then meeting up with Jenna Rickus just to talk about ideas for next semester to pass off the next UAA.
Perfect. And we have ad hoc committee reports. Yes, Senator Brown.
Yeah, so happy to announce that the parking ad hoc is officially in full swing. If you're interested at all, if you've ever had issues with parking, we're more than welcome to have you on our committee, or ad hoc, that is. And then with that being said, we're meeting with Stephen Karn on the 14th. So look forward to that. Perfect.
Yeah, Pro Tem Dodona.
Yes, so SAFER has been working on our last 2 events for the month of April, which is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. We've got 2 ones coming up, the first one being that Sexual Violence Roundtable. The premise of this is as individuals and organizations who are working on this space kind of come together, talk about where they're seeing stress, where they're seeing success, as well as have an opportunity to directly ask administrators questions about how Purdue is handling sexual violence. If you are interested, please reach out. We'd love to have you there. There's going to be a bunch of different administrators from a bunch of different areas around safety and sexual violence there to answer questions. So please come. It's a great way to sort of engage with those administrators as well as have an opportunity to discuss potential legislation in this vicinity. And then secondly, we're doing our Denim Day event on April 20th. Basically, it's a day that celebrates, it's an event that celebrates survivors, and we're going to do that with sustainability. We're going to partner with them to get some sustainably gathered pants.
Well said. Yes, Senator Robinson.
Yeah, so the Black Boilermaker Experience Committee was supposed to have another interview last week, but there were some scheduling issues with our cameraman. So hopefully we're going to have one more meeting before the end of the semester, and then we'll have a game plan for our next steps.
Yeah, Senator De Silva.
Not much of an update from Pride either. We are still working on an action plan, and and we're gonna have to push back. We hope to have it done by, today, but we had to push it back due to some scheduling conflicts.
All right, any further ad hoc committee reports? All right, seeing none, we can now move into informal discussion. Do I hear any informal discussion at this time? Yes, Senator Robinson.
This is for Chief Justice Robert. When is Know Your Rights Week?
Know Your Rights Week is going to be happening the week after next.
All right. Any other informal discussion at this time? Seeing none, we can now move into old business. Do I hear any old business at this time? All right, seeing none, we can now move into new business. Do I hear any new business at this time? Yes, Senator de Guzman.
I move to bring up Bill 2258.
Second.
It has been properly moved and seconded to bring up Bill 2258, the Cabinet Appointment Co-Executive Director of Communications, Mallory Fonte. This bill is amendable, but and debatable and requires majority vote. We will start with discussion from the authors of the bill and then move into discussion from the floor. So, President Jensen, do you have anything you'd like to start with?
I think Abedemi came and talked to you guys in caucus, but he wasn't able to be here today. So hopefully he said good things. From what I have met Mallory a few times, and from what I've understood, she's doing a great job at what she's done so far, and so hopefully she's officially able to have this position.
All right. Is there any other discussion at this time? Yes.
Like I said in caucus, as someone that came from the communications committee, Mallory was doing a really good job while I was still a part of that committee. So I think this appointment is really good.
Thank you. All right. Any other discussion at this time? All right. Seeing none, we can now move to a vote on Bill 2258. So all those in favor, please raise your name placards. All those opposed, same sign. Any abstention? All right, please mark your vote into SharePoint. And while you are doing that, with a vote of 24-0-1, Bill 2258 passes. Congratulations, Mallory. All right, do I hear any more new business at this time? Yes.
Second.
It has been properly moved and seconded to bring up Bill 2259, amendment to the Senate standing rules of the Purdue Student Senate. This bill is amendable and debatable, requires a majority vote. We will start with discussion from the authors of the bill and then move into discussion from the floor. So at this time, would anyone from IA wish to? Yes.
Yeah, so basically what we did with the standing rules update is we moved a bunch of stuff from the bylaws and the Constitution, which you can see if you open up the fixed Senate standing rules. Anything in red was directly moved from either the bylaws or the Constitution to the standing rules, so it can be a more fluid document and can be updated at easier than going through than having to, I can't remember the wording. It's basically a more fluid document and more easily changed to be up to par with what we currently do. And I just want to point out on Article 4, Section 1 is something that we wrote in that's brand new. The first thing is that the position of pro temp shall be held by a singular senator elected at the first meeting of the Senate. This is after discussion with both Ellie and Lily and how they experienced it. And although they did an amazing job, they both think that it should be one person and not two. Second is that the position of the pro temp shall only be held by a senator that served on the previous administration, which can be overruled by a majority vote of the Senate. Basically, a brand new senator at the first meeting cannot go for pro temp unless there's a majority vote of the Senate. Yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
All right. Yes, Senator Robinson.
Yeah, I would just say thank you so much to IA for working really hard on this. I'm really happy that this is on the floor. I do have a formal amendment I would like to introduce. It's a change to Article 2, Section 1, and I would like to change the verbiage to the President pro tempore and President of the Senate shall have the authority to determine the dress code for any Senate session. The standard dress code shall be either business formal or business casual, as communicated by the President pro temp and the President of the Senate. I think we can the next step would be to take a vote on the formal amendment, correct?
I believe there would be discussion first. Yeah. The proposed amendment is amendable, debatable, requires a majority. Oh, nope. Discussion first, correct? Yes. So, just pro tem to done.
I guess my question is, theoretically, what would happen if the president pro tempore and the vice president disagreed? Who would be responsible declaring the dress code? Who would the ultimate decision come down to?
I would hope that they wouldn't disagree about something like this. I mean, the entire purpose of this is so that it's easier for all of our senators to be able to go around campus, kind of like not having the pressure to go back to their room if they don't have time to change. I know there are a couple senators on the floor who would like to speak on, their own personal experience as to how this would help them. But boils down to communication. I would hope that they would be able to come to an agreement. I really don't foresee this being an issue, but I don't know.
Would any senators wish to speak? Senator Pettini?
Yeah, so my opinion is that I believe that it should be business professional. I mean, the pledge before we take every Senate meeting says that we have to exemplify professionalism, and I feel that in order to do that, we should be dressed that way as well.
Yes.
I would also tend to second that. I think tonight is a great example of that. Most of us, I don't think any of us knew that President Chang was going to be here, and so if, for instance, we were all business casual, I would have felt underdressed for the president, and so I tend to lean more towards business professional most meetings, or not most meetings, all meetings.
Yes, Senator Wheeler, yeah.
Yeah, so I would just like to say sometimes I have to dress business casual just for the weather reasoning. Like, I have some nice shoes, but like I can't wear them out in the rain. And like on a day like today, I'm wearing rain boots just because like it was supposed to thunder all day and I didn't have time to go back to my room and change. So I think in that regard, it makes more sense. Like maybe one day we could have business professional, depending on the speaker or something, and hopefully that would be more streamlined in the future. But like then if it's supposed to rain or something, then we could do business casual and be flexible in that sense.
Senator Robinson.
Can I just say that this is business casual or business formal? So like all of you who love dressing up, this is not going to revoke that right. Like it's just giving those the option who would like to dress a little bit more casually to be able to dress casually.
Yes.
I do just want to say that I think if the wording were a little bit different, like perhaps if it was that the standard is business professional and then it has the option based on certain conditions to be business casual instead, I think that could be a little bit more agreeable to the group. And I think that especially with new senators, they may take advantage of the option between the two. So having that standard and having that as something that we have clearly outlined for incoming senators is important.
Pro Tem Dodona.
I'd like to state that is how it's currently written. I think that like this year, particularly when it comes to like business casual, like oftentimes people have asked us if you can wear shoes when it's raining, and Lily nor I don't care. So like that's how it's currently written, is exactly how Lucas just said it, is that it's business professional, but the pro temps can decide to make it business casual whenever. I think that's sort of the point of the pro temp role, is to be the spokesperson of the Senate, and if they wanted to business casual all the time, then they could make that decision to have it business casual all the time, depending on the Senate. I'm not sure I see the necessity in changing this language as is.
Senator Silva.
I was just going to say exactly what Pro Temp Dodona said, that it says that the Pro Temp shall have the authority to change meeting attire to business casual or casual at their discretion on special occasions, including but not limited to, and then it goes on to say. And it has the guidelines for that as well. So I think as it is, the Pro Temp does have the power to change it, although it does say special occasions, which that could be like, I don't know what special occasions are, but especially weather is definitely one of them. So I don't know if changing it is necessary, basically.
Yes, Senator Robinson.
Yeah, inevitably boils down to if this is something that people don't want, then of course we don't have to, or we'll vote on that and we'll show. But I think that professionalism, of course, is how we look. Business casual just lowers that. I mean, it doesn't lower our professionalism. We still have the choice to conduct ourselves in a professional manner. And I would hope that regardless of how we dress, we all do that anyway, which I'm sure everyone does. But again, the intention with this is just to be a little bit more freeing. I think what I'm wearing today wouldn't be considered business professional, but I would say it's business casual, and it still makes me feel professional while I'm here. So once again, it's just trying to be a little bit more freeing, and also encourage collaboration between pro temps and the president of the Senate next year. So, yeah.
Pro Tem Tadena.
I think I agree with everything that Senator Robinson just said. I think that the intention of, I think that's why the current language makes sense. I think that when we have a whole conversation about the point of the pro temp is to be your guys' representatives, to be a speaker for your guys' win. So if a pro temp theoretically was going after people for not wearing business professional, you could remove them for doing so. And that would be completely valid within that role. Like Lily and I do not go strong on business professional because we feel like that would be unreasonable. But if a pro temp did that, then it would be under your guys' decision to no longer have that pro temp. I just think that the current system works as is, and I don't think there's a need to change.
Okay. Is there any other discussion at this time? All right. Seeing none, we can now move to a vote on the proposed amendment. So all those in favor of the amendment, please raise your name placard. All those opposed, same sign. Any abstentions? Okay. With a vote of 5 to 18 to 2, the amendment fails. So now we will consider the bill as originally proposed. So is there any further discussion on Bill 2259? Okay. Seeing none, we can now move to a vote on Bill 2259. So all those in favor, please raise your name placards. All those opposed, same sign. Any abstentions? Okay, please go mark that into SharePoint. But as a spoiler alert, with a vote of 25 to 0, Bill 2259 passes. So congratulations, IA. Do I hear any further new business? Yes.
I move to bring up Bill 2260.
Second.
It has been properly moved and seconded to bring up Bill 2260, the clarifications of procedures for legislation after passage. So this bill is amendable and debatable and requires a majority vote. We will start with discussion from the authors of the bill and then move into discussion from the floor. So, Pro Tem Tadena, would you wish to speak?
Yeah, so I'm just going to cover a little bit of what we talked on in caucus for the point of this legislation. Basically, it's not very clear in our governing documents whose responsibility it is post-passage for a certain piece of legislation, and this piece of legislation just makes sure that's crystal clear on exactly whose responsibility it is throughout the whole process. A brief overview, if within committee review or going through University Senate before it hits the floor, its responsibility is the president of the Senate or the vice president. If it is going once on the floor, it becomes the responsibility of the president to advocate for it as the official spokesperson of Purdue student government, as well as the representative in undergraduate and University Senate for Purdue student government. If it is a joint resolution, it is the pro temp's responsibility to carry through that legislation to passage. There's an additional part that talks about if a president, pro temp, vice president didn't feel comfortable advocating for a bill from like a previous administration, they wouldn't have the opportunity to veto it, so they really would have no control whether they advocated for it. So there's then a process that says, I don't feel comfortable for advocating for this. I would like the current Senate to rescind that bill, and they would go through that process if they didn't feel like they could follow the procedures outlined. But it's basically a process that's been going on for a long time, but now really clearly in our governing documents.
Would anybody wish to yield some time to President Jensen? Yes, Pro Tem Tadena.
I'd like to yield 3 minutes of my time to President Jensen.
Thank you. So I would just like to say for anyone that is coming into this role next year, this will be very helpful for them. I did not receive a transition document, and so I had no idea what was going on within University Senate, whose responsibility it was, and so Izzy and I couldn't really communicate of, okay, this is what we're supposed to do, because we had really no idea. And so Ellie and Lily really outlined this for us, and it's going to be really helpful in the future.
All right, is there any further discussion on Bill 2260? Okay, seeing none, we can now move to a vote on Bill 2260. So all those in favor, please raise your name placards. All those opposed, same sign. Any abstentions? All right, please mark that in SharePoint. But with a vote of 25 to 0, Bill 2260 passes. So congratulations. All right, do I hear any more new business? Yes, Pro Tem Tadena.
I move to bring up Resolution 2261.
Second.
Thank you. It's been properly moved and seconded to bring up Resolution 2261, a call for availability of condoms in Purdue's residence halls. This bill is amendable and debatable and requires a majority vote. So we will start with discussion from the authors of the bill and then move to discussion from the floor. So Senator Jane, would you wish to start?
Yeah, so CSRA sent out a survey earlier, and we realized that this is just something that would help Purdue students, and Purdue student government has advocated for safe practices. Earlier, we have like the consent party, and this is just an extension of that. I'd be happy to take if anyone has any.
Is there any other discussion at this time? Yes, Pro Tem Tadana.
I believe Senator Jane has some friendly amendments to make to add people as sponsors. Yeah, just move. I motion to add the list of people that Senator Jane has to her bill as sponsors. Do you accept it?
I just wanted to add the sponsors: Shai Robinson, Yana Gabriela De Silva, Hunter Cashon, Kate Hansen, Madison Carnes, Michael Brown, Morgan Conrad, Erica Wheeler, Eric Diaz, and Adi Famuia.
Perfect.
I can send those names to you on Slack.
Yes. Can you please send those to Secretary Friend? But yes, thank you. Yes.
And then I'd like to motion to make a friendly amendment for this bill that goes at the bottom, that would be an added therefore clause that would just state that this resolution be sent to Christina Pizzera, Director of Residential Halls at Purdue, and then strike it from the action section, which I can also send to Secretary Friend.
All right. Senator Jane gave us the thumbs up, so she's in agreement. Is there any other discussion at this time? All right, seeing none, we can now move to a vote on Resolution 2261. So all those in favor, please raise your name placards. All those opposed, same sign. Any abstentions? All righty. Please mark then to SharePoint and make sure you're hitting resolutions instead of bills. But with a vote of 24-0 to 1, Resolution 2261 passes. So congratulations, Senator Jane. Yay. Okay, do I hear any more new business? Yes, Senator de Guzman.
I move to bring Resolution 2262.
Second.
It has been properly moved and seconded to bring up Resolution 2262, resolution of improved communication of university residences housing contract renewal processes. This resolution is amendable and debatable and requires a majority vote. We will start with discussion from the authors of the bill or authors of the resolution, and then move to discussion from the floor. So which of the authors wish to start? Yeah, Senator Wheeler.
Yeah, so like I said earlier, this bill is pretty straightforward. The intention is just to improve communication from university residences to allow students to have a reasonable and fair opportunity to renew their contract, and especially with the big changes that they made to the process this year, this led to a lot of students not being able to live on campus again, which I think was rather unfair. I'd also like to make some friendly amendments to add some sponsors, Dominic, Hunter, and Irene, and also following Lily's comments on the doc, to make this a joint resolution with RHA, and also to add Amelia Simpson as an author who is here with us today. So.
Perfect. Senator Robinson, are you also in agreement on that?
Yes, but I would also like to add one more change. In like the third, second to last therefore clause, there should be that the Residence Hall Association should be recommended to all resident or hall club presidents.
Senator Wheeler, you also all right with that?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Can you both send those friendly amendments on to Secretary Friend? Perfect. Is there any further discussion at this time? All right, seeing none, we can now move to a vote on Resolution 2262. So all those in favor, please raise your name placards. All those opposed, same sign. Any abstentions? All right, seeing none, well, mark your vote into SharePoint. But with a vote of 25-0 to 0, Resolution 2262 passes. So congratulations to you both. Alrighty, so at this time, I'm going to be stepping down as chair, and Senator Robinson will be taking over for the chair for the time being as we bring up the next set of legislation.
Point of order, all people who are receiving a stipend or in connection to receiving a stipend cannot be here for the following conversation.
Okay, do I hear any new business? Yes.
I move to vote and discuss bills 22 through 63
Second.
through 68 as one.
Second.
It has been properly moved and seconded to bring up bills 22, 63 through 68. Presentation of previously allocated stipends for President Andrew Jensen, Vice President Ezzy Weber, Pro Temp Lillian Ferguson, Treasurer Sean Wiseman, Chief of Staff Abidemi Iragbi, and Chief Justice Robert Kim. This resolution is amendable and debatable and requires a majority vote. We will start with a discussion from the authors and then move into discussion from the floor. Is there no discussion from the authors? Yes?
Yeah, FA talked about it. We think they're great. I think you guys have seen their hard work this semester and the previous, so yeah, I'd vote yes if I were you.
Yes.
Senator Ackerman, could you expand a little bit about what exactly President Jensen has accomplished in this semester?
Absolutely. As he started out at the very beginning of the meeting, he talked about the LIFT program. It's been incredible to see what they've done. They've been able to, they said they had 2 campaign goals and they were able to complete them both, working on the app, but also with LIFT. We've seen, 700 rides, excuse me, 700 rides at the beginning of the semester was the goal, and they've completed it.
Is there any other discussion? Yes.
Coming into the Senate late, I was appointed by my council, and just being able to speak to Pro Temp Lily, understanding what it is to be a senator and just everything, she was really helpful in getting me into the position. So I think she deserves this.
Any other discussion? Okay, seeing none, we will move to a vote on these, on Bill 2263 through 68. All those in favor, please raise your name placards. All those opposed, same sign. Any abstentions? Okay, please mark your vote in SharePoint. With a vote of 23 to 1 to 0, bills 2263 through 68 pass. Congratulations to the authors.
SharePoint. Do we do like?
Please mark them each individually. So you'll go 23, yes, 24, yes, 25, yes. Okay, we can call our Vice President back in. We can call everyone back in. Thank you.
Okay, so do I hear any further new business? Seeing none, we can now move into announcements. Do I hear any announcements at this time? All right, we can now move into Senate Snaps. So for anyone new here, Senate Snaps is a great way to recognize the hard work of others within PSG. So just a quick Senate Snap to start us off. Senator Robinson, thanks for stepping in. All right, yes.
I want to give a Senate snap to Lucas for being willing to stand up for what he believes in.
Perfect. Yes, Senator Silva.
I just want to give a Senate snaps for all of IA working on the standing rules. I know we had some formatting issues in one of our meetings, but we figured it out and it passed.
Pro Tem Tadana?
I'm seconding that for all IA, but particularly the new chair. I know they spent a long time on those standing rules, and governing document work isn't always as appreciated as it should be, and we all really appreciate the time it took.
Senator Guzman?
I want to give one to Erica on the legislation that passed. She's been working on this for a very long time, so to see it all come together is super cool.
All right. Yes, Senator Wheeler.
Yeah, and I'd like to thank everyone who helped me with this legislation and sponsored it. It's something that I'm really passionate about, and hopefully it will help people in the future if it gets followed. So thanks everyone for your support.
Senator Brown?
I know we didn't really get to talk about too much the stipend things, if that wasn't evident by how fast it went through. But I just want to thank all of those that did get a stipend tonight, and also the other senators that may not be here next week, for an incredible semester, incredible year. So thank you all, and I hope the stipend is only a part of the thanks to you all.
Thank you. President Jensen?
Yeah, snaps to Michael Brown for saying that. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, snaps to Michael Brown for being elected as the chair of the parking ad hoc. That's not unnoticed, so thank you for that.
Yes.
I would like to give a Senate snap to Lucas Johnson being a trailblazer by saying present.
That is. All right, any further Senate snaps? Yes.
I'd like to give a snap to Iana for being a soldier even though her voice is dead and pushing through our UAA meeting.
Any more Senate snaps? All right, seeing no more further announcements of snaps, the chair would recognize the motion to adjourn. Yes.
Madam Chair, I move that we do now adjourn.
Second. It has been properly motioned and seconded to adjourn the meeting. It's not amendable, not debatable, requires a 2/3 vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Any abstentions? No. The meeting is now adjourned. Thank you, everyone.